Hello, welcome back to 3D Drawing for Model Railway. In today's episode we're going to continue on working in the ferry van here on the end detail. I'm thinking of trying to get some of this bottom part done. It's quite interesting little shapes here and some ribbon going on, so we're going to try and work on this part as I say. So swap into this photo here, we can see this top rail here. Looks a little bit more like an L bracket type shape, so we can draw that on here. Again, we'll use the plan to get things lined up. Get a sketch on this bottom surface. We can see by looking at this, it's pretty much touching the hinge here. So we'll be just slightly off of that when we draw. So we can see the height of the hinge. We can come across and know that we're going to be lined up there. Just going to come ever so slightly below it. And we'll come across. Let's have a look, how far does it go? Not quite to the edge, we've got this bracing that comes across the edge here. It comes sort of in line with where this comes down. Snap that across and we'll define dimensions. It's already locked in that way. Height wise, I think I'm going to go for about 0.5. I think I'm going to go on the width there because I want to put the bracket coming off of it. And we'll just define height. I want to take that up slightly bit more, so 2.75. So there is a little gap, but not much of a gap there between those. Okay, let's extrude this out, say 0.2 millimeters. And then on this top surface, I'm again going to draw a rectangle all the way across. I'm going to define the height of it as I think maybe 0.2 that way, and then we'll extrude. It will come up 0.5. That's going to be 3 inches. That's probably too much looking at that. So maybe 0.3. Yeah, let's give them that L shape. Okay, so let's have a go back and see. It does have rivets on it as well. So we will have to go back and draw those. This bottom one though, I don't think it's quite an L back. I think it's just quite a thick beam. So yeah, we'll just draw that as a rectangle along the bottom edge here. Again, create a sketch and using the rectangle tool. I'm going to have it slightly above the bottom of the wagon there. Define distance there, 0.5. Thickness, we've got 0.3. And then I'm going to extrude it to the same height as the top of the L beam. Okay, so next. Back the other way on these photos. Okay, so we've got obviously the rivets going across that we can draw. So we've got a clear view showing how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 rivets across. First one, so not far, maybe go 0.8. Let's define there. Okay, so if we extrude 0.5 and then we can round or fill the top off again 0.5. We say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Pattern features, we select the 2 features there, direction, 8 of them, and go across 7. Interesting to see how they line up actually. No, they're not lined up with those, so that's fine. Okay, so we've got those. Okay, so we can draw this little bit here with a white thing on the end. Now, I can't quite see from any of the pictures the exact shape of it from the top or the other side. So I'm just going to draw sort of a rectangle come out, cut this bottom bit off, and we'll have this like a solid piece that comes out there. Okay, so that's going to sit in sort of in this area here. So I'm just going to draw a sketch on here. Use a rectangle. It's about the same sort of height. Same sort of height as this part. You see, it's just both sides look solid. So it's going to be sort of that area there. Let's go for 0.5 wide and go for 1 high. Find distance from the edge, 1.75, and height from that beam there, we'll go for 0.3. Okay, let's extrude this forwards. Okay, I'm thinking maybe 1 millimeter, 6 inches. Okay, draw a sketch on the front here, and we're going to try and create this sort of angle. It might be actually, I think that height might be a little bit too big. Before we finish drawing that one, we'll come back in here. I'm just going to reduce that down to maybe 0.8 millimeters. There we go. Okay, edit that sketch. Just going to draw a line, midpoint. Select midpoint there, and then diagonal down, and then we'll extrude that bottom half off there. That sort of shape I'm looking for. Okay, next item I'm going to draw is this triangular piece here. I think this is a bump stop, that when this bottom part folds down, this rests on top of the buffer here so that you can drive the vehicles across between each of them. So start off with a rectangular plate on the rear surface. You can see the location of it, it's quite simple here. Define dimensions, we'll go for 1.4 millimeters, I think, pretty much square. Define height from there to there, 0.1, and then from there to there. Let's get rid of that one because we don't like them at angles. There to the edge, 1.7. Okay, just going to extrude that forwards by say 0.15, just to give us like a backing plate. The next thing I'm going to draw is actually on it. I'm going to do a rectangle, and I'm going to midpoint that to the midpoints. Define the width between the two of them as 0.5, I think. Yeah, okay, so let's extrude that out. I'm going to say 1 millimeter. Let's join, and then if we look at this, it's got triangled from top and it's curved on the bottom edge here. Okay, so we can draw on the side surface, line from there to that, and I'm going to extrude that off. Okay, so cut that off, and then I'm going to fill it. Nope, I want those two edges in like that, so 0.3. Excellent. Okay, and then we're going to offset. So draw again on that face. Offset that, and do minus 0.5 let's see what that gives us. Okay, we're minus 0.2, and then we'll extrude that all the way through, so that we do have a hollow section there. It's still going to be quite thin and delicate, but it's given it the curved shape at the bottom that still has internally. Excellent. If we get the lamp irons drawn on next here, so again we just come to the side of this, about maybe 6 inches between them, so we're looking in that area. So 0.5 by let's go from 0.4 like that. So we've got 1 millimetre there, height wise 0.3, extrude that by 0.3 millimetres, and then we can draw on that top surface. Like that, so 0.5 by 7.3 millimetres. Select those profiles and just give them a thickness of maybe 0.3 millimetres again. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's add this centre brace in here. It's got a couple of rivets on it. So we don't need to draw it full width. Yeah, actually, let's draw it full width. So if we draw it, oops, that's drawn on the plane there. We don't want that. We want it to draw on there. Okay, so we're going to go from there to the top. Let's define the width as 0.8. Even. We'll do midpoint of that in line with that top there. The height we defined is 2.3. What I'm going to do is actually extrude them and then remove part of it. So go 0.15. Let's draw the rivets on the middle. So we want them in line there. So there's 2 of them, so 0.3. And extrude that 0.5 and feed it off the edge. 0.5. And we can copy that vertically at 2. And a millimetre between them. Okay, so that's that drawn there, and if you can rotate around the back, select the back profile, and if you just drag that forward, it will move half of it. And when you mirror over, the other half's copied across. Okay, so we've got a couple of locking pins here, so that looks like it's between 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th rivet. So it's sort of sitting here, this area here. Something like it's above lamp iron. Yeah. Okay, so I draw on here. Yeah, I'm going to let it constrain there. I'm going to do it 0.8 wide, 0.3 tall. And I'm going to extrude that to that profile there. And then I'm going to draw on that surface. Slice through to it. I'm going to draw a circle to represent the pin. It's going to be the midpoint. So 0.5. I just need the top half. Extrude that. Spin around. See what we're looking at. I'm going to bring that upwards like this. And rotate to join. Right, I've rotated that. I can't see it now. what we'll actually do, I'm going to go back into that, edit that feature. I'm going to grab the bottom half of the circle as well, just so that it feels in the back here as well. Probably a little bit over scale. Yeah, maybe a little bit, so I can edit the sketch and let's just change the dimension of it. Maybe we come down to 0.4. It's not a massive difference, but it might help to make it a little bit smaller. The good thing about this design that we're using here as well is you could design this for, or use this profile and sketch for doing govs and CCTs as well. Now I know they're already available, but if you are on the budget and you want to produce this model as well, it's a good starting point. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this episode at this point here. We've come on pretty much detailed most of this lower part here. I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. If you turn off the plane, there's quite a lot of detail added in there. And obviously we'll move on as the less progresses. So thanks for watching. Please come back for the next one.